Yeah.
Okie dokie, here we are. This is Funny Accents, the podcast, and today we have Michael Anekwe. How you doing, Michael?
Yeah. I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Good, 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 good. I want to acknowledge that I mispronounced your name Ankewe on the first time, and when you had different accents, everybody mispronounced everybody's name, and yeah, nobody can claim that you're being racist or it's like yeah, we're like a bunch of
I
Nazis
feel like us
telling the other that it's
I feel like
Nazi.
us foreign comics in LA were used to it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's like on stage and then they butcher it. So it's like it's the same deal every time. But yeah, we're used to it.
the first video that I upload, it was me hosting a show and mispronouncing everybody's name on purpose. You have been mispronouncing my name all the time, so now take it. And the last guy was Adam. Was Adam. I just saw him at in Georgia, and I introduced him like I didn't even mispronounce him. I was like, let's give it a big applause for Julio Iglesias. And he gets into stage and he says, I'm not Julio Iglesias. So, and he remind me that in Georgia, like we
That's
met
funny.
in a
It's like
club.
paid.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's the amount of times it got to a point where it's like I started doing this joke. I had this joke where once a host gets my name wrong, I do this joke at the beginning of my set. Um, I don't do it anymore, but like it's we're used to it at this point, you know.
yeah, yeah. I have one that is like, is Pablo like Picasso, not like Escobar or something like that. I don't know. So you're from
I like
Nigeria.
Escobar.
How long have you been here?
I've been in the U.S. since 2014. Yeah, so I came here for high school and college, and yeah, I've been here since 2014, and I don't know, it's been fun. I still it's like like you get used to life in America, but at the same time, like you're still from where you're from.
Yeah.
You still have this connection to basically the country that you're from. But yeah, it's fun. LA is the place where we're at. So
It's weird. We
yeah.
have something in common that we don't. You look black. You're black, but you're not black from here. So you need to clarify where you're from. And the same thing happened to me when I tell I'm Latin American. They look at me, oh, if you're Argentine. How was
Yeah.
that?
It, um yeah, I feel like a lot of international people, a lot of like people from a different country have the same experience where it's like you said, you're Latino, but like there's Latinos in America, but you're not like, like a Mexican born here or stuff like that. So you're different. And I feel like that's why kind of like a lot of us international people, we like have a good connection because we share similar experiences.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just getting used to being different, you know. At the beginning it kind of felt weird a little bit where it's like, okay, you're trying to figure out what space you fit in. And then at some point you realize, well, I'm not like yes, I might relate to certain people, um, certain different kinds of people, but I've actually had an experience that not a lot of people can relate to. So it's okay not fitting into a particular space. Um, so yeah, it was just similar questions. Hey, where you from? Like, tell me about where you're from, and you know, um, and then jokes. Accent jokes. Like stereotypical jokes, like oh the Nigerian scammers, oh, stuff like that. But it's one of those that like over time you get used to it, and then you write jokes about it, and then you can laugh about it. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a book coming out now about the Nigerian scammers. It's like Night Love Boys or something like that. That's the
Yeah,
name of the guys, and
really.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's
Yeah,
weird because
it's a
they had to work at night their time, so they're not here.
yeah, because it's daytime. Yeah, it's a real thing, dude. There are thousands. I mean, that's it's there's people occupation.
Yeah.
That's what they scam people for a living, and it's crazy. Um,
How big is
but at the same,
Nigeria? How many people live in Nigeria?
there's about over 200 million. So there's a lot of us. There's over 200 million of us.
So it's the
Um,
fourth country in the world. What is size wise? Because it's bigger than Brazil. Brazil is
yeah, so
190.
large by population, I think we're number. So it's India, China, Pakistan, USA, and then Nigeria, I think. Yeah, so we're number five.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
numbers
that's
wise, it's like a huge place and it's very
it's.
diverse.
I mean, it's very diverse, and it's like. But here's another thing. So it's like there's that many of us, but like the entire country, the land mass is just about the size of Texas, which Texas is a huge state.
Yeah, yeah,
That's so like what it means is like the centers, so the big cities are very overpopulated. There's a lot of places that are not overpopulated, but like a lot of the big cities, the city I grew up in, Lagos, it's a lot of people. Um, but then it's like if you want to go back to history, it's like there's indigenous people who, yes, they all look black, but have so like completely different cultures, language.
yeah,
But because England were like, hey, you guys are all one country, all right, we're gonna make you one country.
yeah,
But there's like it's so the Nigeria's so diverse. There's over 200 languages, 200 indigenous languages, but English is the main language. But yeah, it's literally, and when I say language, like completely different culture. Whereas like if you could drive 3 hours, and the indigenous language there is completely different from the indigenous language from where you drove from. And by completely, I mean like as different as like English to Chinese to
yeah,
Mandarin.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah. Isn't it? Yeah.
but everybody's in one country. But yeah, it's fun. Nigeria's cool. I love it. I
What
love
about
Nigeria.
the Muslims? You have Muslims up north, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, so it's Muslims up north, Christians down south. Um, there are like there's places where they both commingle, but like predominantly the north is about 90-95% Muslim, south 90-95% Christian. I'm from the south, um, so I'm Christian. And so like when you guys hear like all the whole big crazy like Boko Haram that happens in the north, which like people in the south don't really get to experience it,
yeah.
you know. Um,
So
to us, it was like it seems like that's happening.
it's
Yeah, it's
foreign for
foreign
the
to
people in
us.
the
It seems
south.
like that's happening in a different countries. Like,
Yeah,
well, it is our country, but it's like, well, we're not in close proximity to it. But still, it doesn't mean like you can't um, empathize, But
yeah, 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 yeah. And those guys try to create their own thing, their own country, or they just want to bust everybody's balls. But
it's just, I think it's just extremism. A lot of it is used in the name of religion. A lot of them, it's like it's used in the name of religion, or it's like we're trying to promote Islam. But at the end of the day, a lot of it is just disgruntled people who just need something to do.
yeah,
And then they find somebody who's willing to sponsor them and be like, hey, as long as you say, oh, it's in the name of Allah, you can
yeah,
kill and do whatever you want.
yeah,
And so they do it. So they don't necessarily want, like what they want when they're demanding is not necessarily clear because, one day it's like, oh, we want Sharia law. The other day it's like, um, we want, I don't know, girls not to go to school. And it's just
oh,
there's not nothing specific. Um, so personally, I think it's basically disgruntled people who have nothing to do, and then somebody who has probably some political motive, who has a
Uh-huh.
lot of money, is like, hey, let's get a bunch of these young men together, give them guns, tell them to say it's in the name of Allah that we're killing people.
Yeah.
And these people are Muslims already, so they're like, okay, we're doing it in the name of Allah. So for them, they're doing something good. I'm not an expert on the whole matter,
No, no, no.
but from the little that I know, it's that's just what my opinion is about, and just not just extremism in Nigeria, extremism in most parts of the world too. You know,
In Latin America, they use the ideology for that. Like they try to go, oh, we're
so
communists here, and they create their own kind of a communist utopia in that part of the jungle. And then the
really,
military goes and they shoot them. I mean, they try to do that in Colombia. They're
does it
doing that
still happen?
right now in Mexico, in Chiapas. Chiapas? I don't know. Maybe I'm screwing the name, but in the south
Really?
of
So it
Mexico,
still happens?
yeah, they try. It's what you just said. Somebody wants power, and they use whatever the narrative tool they have, the context tools they have. It could be their religion or it could be ideology, but they
Yeah,
want basically it's the
it could be
same thing. It's
ideology.
like, yeah, we're not cool with this. I wanna grab this, all this. And in Mexico is the Comandante Marcos. I think there is a guy with a face mask and he smokes a cigar. That
Yeah.
was it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. And
So
he
is he still like active till today?
I think they are like because
Wow.
they couldn't take it because it's like a really because the south of Mexico they still speak the original languages and they live the original ways. So because they went up the mountains that they stay there and it's hard to get them uh, acclimated with the modernity, I guess,
Yeah.
or whatever you want to. Yeah, yeah. In Argentina, in the north, they try to do the same, but they send the military. They bomb the place. They bomb the place. Sorry, sorry, I'm laughing, but they bomb the place. They attack that town that they were trying to create their own utopia, and they
Yeah.
drop bombs by mistake on the next one and it was like
Wow.
yeah it was like it was brutal in Brazil they tried to do the same the people that were escaping from slavery and that stuff. Yeah, it's weird. So you moved here and how you started comedy.
How did I start comedy? I think my plan was just to do it for fun. My plan was just to do it for fun. I was graduating college and I decided I was gonna come back to LA because I went to college on the East Coast. My plan was I was gonna come back to LA and write movies.
Yeah.
Because originally, like, I'm a writer, and so the plan was to write movies. The plan was to write comedy movies. Um, and so I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna just do stand up for fun once. The plan was I'll do it once a week for fun. You know, I didn't think I was a comedian. I just thought I was a writer. And I did my first open mic. It went okay, and I think I got like 2 laughs. I did like 7 minutes on stage. I got like 2 laughs, and then I did my second open mic, and it was bad. It was one of those. It was one of those like it was one of those that makes you never go back again. You know, it
Oh.
was one of those like my second open mic was so bad. And then I remember I did my second open mic, and then came back to LA, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the open mics in Hollywood and go do. My plan was to go to the Hollywood Comedy and go do an open mic there. And I remember I got to the door of the Hollywood Comedy, and I was too scared to go in
uh,
because I was scared. I was like, wait, like I'm in Hollywood. Like, who the fuck do I think I can make people laugh in Hollywood? So I literally got to the door of the Hollywood Comedy, and I turned around and I went home.
that's weird.
And it took me like 3 weeks to build up the courage to go back and go do the open mic. And after that, just fell in love, man. But yeah, it's like one of those things. It's like I never really. It was not like I never had like a dream. It was just one of those things that I was like, oh, I'm gonna start doing it for fun. And then you fall in love, and you're like, okay, I guess this is it now. But yeah, that's how I started.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good that's a good beginning. Casual beginning. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I started with I was doing the I saw like I got laid off and I was gonna get married, didn't get married, so I have time and I was working from home on the freelance and restarting my
okay.
my own business, and I was like, man, I need to get out of the house. I'm gonna go freaking crazy because the it was me and my dog, yeah, basically, and going to see
Yes.
clients and stuff, and that's how I started. And then they told me like with the accent, I'm a writer too, but for advertising, so it's kind of weird. Like, but all right, that was the problem also with my job. That when you start working by yourself, you need to think about the business, not writing. And I was like,
Yeah.
it's good, you like the money, but it's at the end of the day, it's like, really, this is it? Like, I'm gonna do this, yeah, forever. This is terrible. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I think that's something I've realized with a lot of comics, where it's like there's people who grew up naturally, like being a class clown and all that stuff. But there's a lot of comics who are kind of like you, kind of like me, where some people just, oh, I just want to get out of the house, and then they start doing it, and then they realize, oh shit, I'm actually funny. Or people who I'm just gonna do it for fun. I know somebody who it was a dare to do stand up. His friends dared him to go up on stage, and
That's
he
good.
went up on stage and did it one time, and it went good, and he kept on doing it. You
That's
know,
good.
and so it's like, yeah, it's just I love meeting people who, because there's the normal ones that's like, oh, I've been funny my whole life, and it's like, yeah, that's cool. But it's like the ones who are like me, where it's like, oh, like I was not a class clown. Like when I started doing stand up, like people that knew me, I remember this girl that I went to college with. Um, I posted my first clip. I think it was like a few months, maybe like 2 or 3 months after starting. I posted a clip of me doing stand up, and she texted me and she was like, "Wait, are you doing stand up? Like, are you a comedian or do you Google jokes?" And
Oh,
to me, it's like that's how insane it is
yeah,
for
yeah,
people that knew me to be like, "Oh, you're a comedian now," because she was like, "Yeah, I could not. There's no way I could imagine you doing stats." She was like, "Do you Google jokes?" It's like, but that is like, I don't blame her for saying that because it's
yeah.
like, I was not like, even if you had told me a few years ago, I'll be on stage making people, I would tell you, hell no. Um, but
What was the moment
yeah,
that you realized you were funny? That it was working? Because let's say now you have a space in an established club, and the people call you and all the stuff. So you kind of at the beginning of this,
yeah,
whatever it is, this.
yeah. I think uh so there was a moment when, because like I still, even when just started, I still was like, you know, my movie writing, my script writing is gonna be the number one, and comedy was number two. And there was a moment it switched where it's like, okay, comedy's number one. And I think it was a few things. It happened. I think it happened like, and the first time thing was like on my first ever comedy show. Um, because I'd been doing open mics for like 3 months, and at some point I was like, hey, I want to get in front of like real audience members,
Yeah,
because the first open mics is just comedians. And so I was like, all
yeah,
right, let me see. I want to try to get in front of real audience members. But like, I didn't know anybody that would book me.
yeah.
I didn't even know how to go about getting booked. So I saw that the Comedy Chateau was doing a comedy competition,
Okay.
and you pay $40 to enter the competition. And people come and it's real audience members. And so I entered the competition, and it was, I think it was 20, about 19, 20 comics. There was two winners. I was one of the two winners. And there's a comic, Ahmed. He's like a headliner, big guy. He was one of the judges that night, and then he came up to me after the show, and he was like, "You look, you you were one of the most seasoned comics out there." And I told him, "Hey, I've been doing this for like 3 months." And he was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I think you should keep doing it." And so after he said that to me, I was like, "Okay, I think I should keep doing it." And then sometimes it's just, I think sometimes it's just like interactions with, after like somebody who has been doing it for a while sees you early on, and then like him saying that to me meant a lot. I was like, wow, like
Yeah.
this guy like said like should keep doing it, okay. And then I realized, you know, oh, it actually takes a while to get good, and I was like, oh yeah. And then I kind of like gauged
Yeah.
where I'm at and where I could go to, and I was like, all right, movies, you're on hold. It is stand up number one now. But yeah, so that, and then there was one show that I had. Um, I feel like it's kind of with comics, like some shows that you have where it's like for you, you feel that you're at a different level. You know, sometimes it's like just the way you're on the stage, the way you control the stage. Um, I think there was this one show where I was doing, and I just felt in complete control. Like I felt, because when you first start, you're still like, if you're on stage, yes, you're getting laughs, but you don't feel at home. But then I think I did this one show. I think it was about like a year in. I did this one show, and I just felt, oh, this feels like home. Like there was no
Uh-huh.
nerves. It was as if I was just present, and I was in total control. And then I think from then on, you kind of feel, okay, I think I got something good going on here. And then you put in the work and the work and the work. So I know that was a long answer and didn't really specify, but I think the first show that I did, Ahmed telling me I should keep doing it. I think that was kind of when I was like, okay, I think I got something here. But
It
yeah.
was the same. It was the same for me. I was at the same place, the Comedy Chateau. They they were doing castings on Sundays. That they still do it, and I
They
went
still do it,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I went there on a Sunday, and they got me, and they put me on a show on Wednesday, 9 p.m. You know that late show Wednesday, and
Mm.
people laugh their asses off. Like I kill it, and they told me Irina, Boronina, and Felix. But Irina told me, "Hey, you're good. You need to work, but you're good." And like a month after that, I did. There was a contest in that place, the U.S. comedy contest, something, and I got to the finals. And
Mm.
and they told me the same. It's like you got it, and I saw the video, and the video was terrible. The
That's the thing. It's like you start doing open mics and you're not getting laughs. And
yeah,
then you do a show when it's not comics. And you're like, whoa, I'm actually funny.
yeah,
Like it's such a, at least now, after a while, you kind of know, oh, what to expect, what level of laughs you're gonna get. But like early on, it's like, I remember I was doing these open mics at the Hollywood Comedy for like months, and it was just like crickets.
yeah.
Like I was bombing for three months straight. Before I did my first show, I was bombing at the Hollywood Comedy. Um, oh, and then I think there's one guy that I call him my comedy daddy, Mike Sasson. He he kind of like put it in a way where it's like he explained comedy in a way where it's like it's all structured. Because before that, I had no idea, and he explained to it like it's
Oh,
structured. Every joke has a structure. The comedian is not just going up on stage and just talking. And hearing that early on was like, oh, whoa, okay. And then my first bit that worked my first ever actual bit, because like you do jokes, but like a long bit that worked. I basically just copied his structure
Yeah.
and told a joke about myself, and it worked. And I told him, I was like, hey, yo, like my first bit that worked, I basically looked at your structure of a joke that really works, that, and I did the same thing for myself, and it worked. So yeah, and I think another thing that's important, like you kind of said it to, like Irina and Felix telling you, hey, you're good, you know, like like encouraging people who you
Yeah.
see who are new, and you can feel like they have something. I think that's so important, because
Yeah.
this is such a lonely
It's a
it's such
weird. Yeah.
a lonely thing to do, man. Like you're your writer, there's it's all you, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
just hearing that, hey man, great job. Oh, it feels so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels
I
so
just came back from a festival in Florida, and they told me that, and it never gets old. Yeah, you need that
Yeah,
every
it
now and
never
then.
gets
You,
old. Like,
yeah, you win something. They get, yeah. And
yeah,
it's kind of a like a it's kind of a gamble, a permanent gamble. I told you this Sunday, like I did like a particular joke that was really edgy, and I was like, man,
that's
is this
really
gonna work here? Is this gonna, or I gonna get crickets, and they're gonna be like, you know, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing?
yeah. It's
What did you see change in the country since you moved here? Because 14 until 26, the US has changed a lot.
yeah. I think the economy is worse. It's number one. Um, people are less. People have less drive and desire, and people people have it's I think this might not just be the US, this might be the whole world, but in the US specifically, the economy is shit. um I think, I mean, politics, that's one. It's like we're living in a whole different world.
Yeah.
um yeah, I think just a lot has changed, man. It feels like a different world compared to that. But yeah, a lot, man. Just
And compare
people.
with we used to talk about like we're coming from the third world and growing up seeing the first world like a reference, and now we're here, and the populism is kind of a symptom of the third world. It's not from, you know, how do you feel with
Yeah,
that?
I mean, I think it's like it seems to me now that America has become like a third world country, you know, just
Yeah.
like the kind of things that happen, for example, like the son-in-law of the president is,
Uh-huh.
trying to broker deals on behalf of the country
Yeah.
with foreign governments. That's something that happens in a third world. you know,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not something that, like glaring nepotism,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like
Open nepotism.
open nepotism. It's like it used to be, at least, like, they'll try to hide it, but it's like, no, no, oh yeah, yeah, yes, he is my son-in-law, and he is, it's just stuff. That's something that happens in the third world. Like, even stuff, if stuff like that happens in Nigeria, it's like people be like, whoa, whoa, what the heck? And
Mhm.
in America, it just seems like normal.
Now,
Like,
now it's normal. It was not normal.
now it seems normal.
Yeah.
But I think that's another thing, like another change is just what has become normal right now. Uh, you know,
Yeah.
it's yeah, we're
That's the question, isn't it? It's like if this the
it's
is this here to stay, or is this the populism like moment stage of craziness, and we're going back to, statistic people, statistician, bureaucrats or like technocrats, that kind of, you know, lame people, but more like predictable.
Yeah, I personally don't think it's here to stay. I think I'm a there's like the theory of like life moves in pendulums, so we
Yeah,
move far one way and then we have to come back the other way just to maintain the balance. Um, I think people are tired,
yeah,
you know. It's just like just emotionally drained from just so much craziness.
yeah,
And whether it's from the right or from the left, where it's like this over involvement in things that don't things that affect our lives and sometimes things that don't even affect our lives, but just because sometimes they're intertwined. Um, so and then specifically just, with the whole what's going on in politics right now, where it's like, you know, the craziness that we see, I think we're gonna switch back to where the loudest voice doesn't necessarily mean the smartest or the strongest.
yeah,
I think people at some point would start to realize that, yeah, just because this person is loud and they're going crazy doesn't mean they have any substance to them. I guess because I'm an optimist, you know.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I truly believe in the whole pendulum thing, and I think we've gone way too far.
yeah, yeah,
We gotta go back to the other side. We gotta go back to the other side where, you know, decorum and like substance,
yeah.
just
Decorum
like
and
like
substance is two
substance
really
is
good. Yeah,
what's
yeah.
appreciated, rather than just like being the loudest voice or yeah.
I don't think that they had solved the problem that created the populism outbreak. The disparity of like riches is super rich and poor is super poor. It hasn't been solved. So in this atmosphere, in this context, in this, it's even worse now that we have AI and all that. It's gonna create even a bigger disparity. And the problem is that AI and the robots, they don't vote. Humans vote. So when you left them without the job, or when you're paying them like very little, and you're treating them unfair, or you're showing them that being connected is more important than being capable, that's gonna create like even more anger. And if the political class doesn't create a way to digest all that anger, they're gonna keep voting weird people that manifest the anger for them, because Trump just did that UFC fight in the White House. I think it's just to piss off the intellectuals and the left, because think about it. If you wanna piss them off, like what do you do if you wanna piss all that people? Like, you do the UFC fight, like I was wondering if he missed the girls with the numbers in a bikini and that kind of stuff. Yeah, because it was like, dude, this is bananas. What are you doing? Yeah, but yeah, the guy is going. I think it's going out of his way to make all this possible, and that is what is buying him all these uh, spaces to create all this.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think about it. Like, I don't know if populism would still have the same power it had over the past couple of years, just because everybody that could have been blamed for the problems of a particular group of people, specifically like poor white people,
Yeah,
everybody that have been blamed that could have been blamed for the problems have been blamed, and they still have those problems, and it's worse. So it's
yeah,
like first it's immigrants, and then it's the brown, it's the black people, it's the brown people, oh it's the gay people, oh it's the trans people. I don't know what other group or other demographic that can be blamed for the problems that already exist right now. Especially now, I think people are starting to wake up and realize, well, we've demonized this group of people, and not only do our problems still remain, now it's even worse. So at
Yeah,
some point, we got to start looking, okay, who I think there's just going to be a small amount of people. They're going to be very, because like, who else could you blame?
yeah.
You know, like who else? Like I'm trying to think about it. I don't think there's any other group. Black people, yeah,
And I think
immigrants, oh yeah, Mexicans,
I think that it hasn't, and they still don't have health insurance, and their kids are not
yeah,
getting a good education. So
yeah.
if you send your kid to a private school when they're younger, that you have way better chances that for him to do way better in other places. That used to be like the third world thing, not the first world thing, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. It seems like it's a third world. We're in a third world
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, man. Sometimes.
Anyway.
But
Okay, we're getting there. We have 30 minutes for the clock this for with the system with the Zoom system. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Was nice talking to you, Michael. See you around.
See you,
Take care.
Pablo. I will talk to you later. And you guys follow Funny Accents on
Yeah.
Instagram.
The
Subscribe
next
to the
show.
YouTube channel.
Bye
Yeah,
bye.
we're doing something. Bye.